Students can hear me? Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Today we'll be discussing about a new topic, how to diagnose glaucoma. See, glaucoma is actually not a disease, but it's a disease group. It's not a disease, it's a disease group. And it is characterized by some different, characteristics which you have to remember and which are included in the definition. We will be going through it. It's a group of disorders. See, the definition is that it's a group of disorders. Okay, and it is characterized by raised intraocular pressure, but irrespective of the older definition, we said that glaucoma is always characterized by raised intraocular pressure. Nowadays, it is said that no, glaucoma is not always characterized by raised intraocular pressure. It is a feature. Raised IOP is a feature of glaucoma, but it is not necessary to be raised. Normal intraocular pressure range is 10 to 20. Okay. Yes, there are some changes that are characteristic of glaucoma. Number one, optic disc changes. What are the optic disc changes? The disc will be cupped, there will be disc excavation, then there will be increased cup to disc ratio. Okay, increased cup to disc ratio. This means that the amount of cup that is actually contributing the whole disc increases. Okay, if you have an idea of the normal optic disc morphology, then it will be easier for you to understand that what is CT ratio, how it is increased. The second is there are parapapillary atrophies. Okay. The third one is visual field defects. These are the three characteristics. Now, if we just compile the whole definition of glaucoma, it will be in a way that glaucoma is a group of diseases that is characterized by optic disc changes, visual field defects, with or without raised intraocular pressure. I will repeat it because this definition is very important, and in every fourth year eye exam they ask every student. They ask the definition, and their latest definition is what I am telling you right now, that glaucoma is a group of diseases. It's not a disease, it's a group of diseases that is characterized by optic disc changes, parapapillary atrophy, visual field defects, with or without raised intraocular pressure. With or without raised intraocular pressure. The difference in between the newer and older definition is that previously the definition was including raised intraocular pressure as mandatory part of the definition. But nowadays they have said that no, it can be with or without raised intraocular pressure. Okay. Now, what is the pathogenesis of glaucoma? There are changes in the ocular perfusion pressure. There is damage to axonal fibers, and then there are field defect and disc changes. Okay. If you can just notify that in the pathogenesis, the first line is about ocular perfusion pressure. It's not intraocular pressure. Ocular perfusion pressure, which is when you subtract mean arterial pressure of the blood vessels that are supplying the eye from the intraocular pressure, you will get ocular perfusion pressure. I will repeat it. When you subtract mean arterial pressure of the blood vessels supplying the eye from the from the intraocular pressure, you will get ocular perfusion pressure. If you understand this mathematical terminology or statement, you will get the idea of the whole glaucoma. I will just unmute you. If you have any question in this definition, please ask me over here, because if your concept will not be clear over here, you will remain confused in the whole glaucoma. Okay, I'm unmuted. Hello. Hello, students, can you hear me? Hello, students, can you hear me? No, वो unmute करेगा वो आवाज न पे चाहिए मैं क्वेश्चन नहीं था ये पूछूंगा what is the complication of this इतना वॉल्यूम में लग Students, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was asking you the question that have you got an idea of ocular perfusion pressure, because I will not proceed further if you don't understand this ocular perfusion pressure. Have you got any idea of ocular perfusion pressure now? Please
Yes,
reply.
sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, you are saying that if we subtract the mean arterial pressure from the intraocular pressure, then the result
Yes,
will be the
sir,
ocular perfusion pressure.
Okay. Ini में दाना pH आवाज ये काम pH लगी समझे मैंने मेरा आज में ये कंप्यूटर में pH आवाज Yes. Can you hear me now? Students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me the definition of ocular perfusion pressure.
Yes, sir.
Anyone among
Sir,
you?
you are saying. सर आपको आवाज आ रही है हमारी?
जी जी अब आना शुरू हो गई आवाज
जी
आप जो है मुझे बताइए ये ocular perfusion
जी सर जी sir. Sir, you are saying that when we subtract the mean arterial pressure from the intraocular pressure, then the result will be the ocular perfusion pressure.
Very good, very nice. So now you have got the idea of ocular perfusion pressure. This is actually the perfusion pressure determines the nutrient supply to the eye. Okay, if the nutrient supply to the retina is reduced due to reduced perfusion pressure. What is good for eye? Increased perfusion pressure. What is bad for eye? Decreased perfusion pressure. And when will the perfusion pressure increase? When the intraocular pressure will reduce. When the ocular perfusion pressure will reduce? When the intraocular pressure increase. So both of them are inversely related. If the intraocular pressure increases, the perfusion decreases. When the perfusion decreases, it directly damages two nerve fibers in the retina. Number one, retinal nerve fiber layer. Number two, ganglion cell layer. Okay, retinal nerve fiber layer and the ganglion cell layer. Two layers are basically damaged due to decreased perfusion to the eye, and that is caused by raised intraocular pressure. Now, from this definition, you will get one more idea that it is not necessary that the intraocular pressure should be raised in all types of glaucoma in order to have a reduced perfusion pressure. Sometimes the mean arterial pressure is already reduced, and the intraocular pressure, even in the normal range, decreases the perfusion to the eye. Okay? So both ways, basically it is the IOP which determines the perfusion pressure, but sometimes the IOP is in normal range. It is the mean arterial pressure that is reduced, due to which the patient can get glaucoma. Now, damage to axonal fibers, yes, there is damage to the ganglion cell layer and the retinal nerve fiber layer. When these two layers are damaged, the patient will get a field defect, visual field defect, and he will get optic disc changes, start having the optic disc changes. Okay. Now, see how is IOP maintained. Intraocular pressure is basically a dynamic process, which is due to the whenever the ciliary processes, they secrete the aqueous humor. They continuously secrete the aqueous humor, which circulates in the anterior chamber from posterior segment to the anterior segment and to the anterior chamber angle, and from there, from the angle, it goes away into the either into the trabecular meshwork or the ciliary pathway. 80% goes to the trabecular meshwork, 20% goes to the uveicular pathways. The secretion is also mostly by the active process, and some of them is by diffusion process. So the secretion of the aqueous humor, the passage of the aqueous humor, and then the drain of the aqueous humor determine the level of the intraocular pressure. Basically, we classify glaucoma into open angle, close angle, and congenital glaucoma. Open angle and close angle are further subclassified into the primary and secondary. Actually, my topic today was how to diagnose glaucoma. Right? I will not go into the detail of all these glaucomas. I will try to tell you about the diagnosis of the glaucoma. How we diagnose glaucoma? The first point is examination. How does torch help us in diagnosis of glaucoma? When you put the light rays into the eye, if the patient is having a very high intraocular pressure, his cornea will be hazy, which is being picked up even with a torchlight. The cornea will be diffusely hazy, and you can pick it up with the torchlight, number one. Number two, when the intraocular pressure is raised, the pupil will be fixed and dilated. The pupil will be fixed and dilated. Okay? So, with the help of these two things, you can diagnose glaucoma with torchlight. Number two, slit lamp. Slit lamp is a ophthalmic machine which help us to magnify the anterior segment and see all the structures. So with this we will see the cornea, the even minute or a small amount of haziness can be picked up with the slit lamp. and we can easily see the anterior chamber, the iris, as well as we can see the angle of the anterior chamber with the assisted with the gonioscopic lens. So slit lamp plus gonioscopic lens. Combinedly, we can see anterior chamber angle. This will give us an idea that anterior chamber angle is open or closed. Okay, so we will examine the anterior chamber angle with the help of slit lamp and gonioscope. Third one is fundoscopy. By doing fundoscopy, we are actually visualizing the retina and the optic disc. The changes that occur in the optic disc and around the optic disc are picked up with gonioscopy. We can see that how is the cup of the optic disc, how is the CD ratio, how is the neuroretinal rim. All these we can see with the help of gonioscopy. The second thing is tonometry. What is tonometry? Measurement of intraocular pressure is called tonometry. And the instrument that is used to measure the intraocular pressure is called tonometer. There are many types of tonometer. One is the Short's tonometer, other is applanation tonometer, then is air puff tonometer, then is to check the intraocular pressure with the help of manual fingers, two-finger method. The Short's tonometer is actually working on indentation tonometry principle. That is, we indent the cornea in order to measure the intraocular pressure. The second is applanation tonometer. It works on the principle of flattening the cornea. It flattens the cornea and measures the intraocular pressure. The air puff tonometer, in this type of tonometry, we actually push air, a puff of air onto the eye, and it just measures the intraocular pressure, the amount of air that goes and reflects back from the cornea. This will give us an idea of the intraocular pressure. Third one is visual field test. Visual field test means when you check the normal visual field and the abnormal visual field, either it can be done crudely. The crude method is the confrontation by the help of finger. You check it with the help of moving finger. And the other automated method is the perimetry. So what is the definition of perimetry? It is the technique of measuring the intraocular pressure, of measuring the visual field defect with the help of an automated machine. And the machine that is present in our department is a Goldman machine, which measures the visual field defects. The other is Octopus and Octopus visual field machine. Finally, there is OCT, optical coherence tomography. This also gives us an idea about the layers of the retina and the macular and the retinal nerve fiber layers and the ganglion cell layer. It gives us an idea about all these by which we can diagnose the glaucoma. Okay. So today we have gone through some of the basic principles of the glaucoma, and we have talked about the yes, we have talked about different definition as well as the glaucoma diagnosis, and I hope that you have got some of the idea about how to diagnose glaucoma. I will try to have some printouts of the perimetry next time and the pictures of the Goldman applanation tonometer which are kept in your exam so that you can understand it. The pictures of the fundoscopy by which you can have an idea of the glaucomatous change in the eye, and that is given in the exam. Okay. Also, I will show you some of the OCT changes that occur in the glaucoma. So next time that will be a practical session. It will not be a theoretical section, and I will show you only the pictures. Okay. If you have any question regarding today's lecture, you can ask me now. Yes, students. Students, can you hear me? Is there any question?
Yes, sir.
Is there any question regarding today's lecture?
Yes, sir. I want to ask.
Yes, you can ask.
See, sir, sir, you are telling about the diagnosis of the glaucoma in which you told different techniques like slit perimetry and fundoscopy and etc. But sir, all these techniques I think can't be done at the same time. So सर इनमें से मतलब ज्यादा जो है वो रिलायबल या जो हम कह सकें जिसको हम ज्यादा दें कि भाई हमें पहले ये करना चाहिए तो हम सर सारी तो एक साथ नहीं कर सकते ना देन सर व्हाट शुड वी डू
ठीक देखिए actually what we do when a patient comes to us in the OPD, we don't know about the patient's status. He's just having complaining of reduced visual acuity, comes with that complaint, or sometimes if there is a very much literate person, he will come with a complaint of visual field defect. Okay? So we don't know that the patient is having glaucoma or not. We want to screen him out. Okay? We will not go for all the tests. We will start with number one. We will do first of all ocular examination. That is very important. And when we will do torch examination, this is done in every patient. Slit lamp examination done in every patient, and fundoscopy done in every patient who comes with reduced vision or having visual field. The examination is mandatory that you have to do in all the patients. There is no question about it, no doubt about it. Examination, all cases. Okay. If you are talking about specific tests, yes, if by the help of examination, if we have got a doubt about a glaucoma, that the patient might be having glaucoma, then we will start with the tonometry. First of all, we will check the intraocular pressure. If it is in the high range, there is no any other disease with raised intraocular pressure. Directly jump onto the diagnosis that the patient is having glaucoma. If the patient is having normal intraocular pressure and still you are doubtful about glaucoma, you are having in your mind, you are having, doubt that the patient might be having glaucoma, then what will you do? You will do specific tests, like you will do visual field test or you will go for OCT. These are the two specific tests that you have to prescribe to the patient. Either go for visual field test or go for OCT. These both are specific tests for glaucoma. Examination is available in your OPD. Tonometry is available in your OPD. Both of these are mandatory. You can do them in the OPD. But when you are very much confident about your diagnosis, then you have to go for visual field test in order to confirm or OCT. Is that okay now?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. I know that you still are not clear about these diagnoses, how to diagnose a case of glaucoma. This was just the ABCs of the diagnosis. Okay. You need to look onto some pictures from which you will, get a concept, a clear-cut concept about the glaucoma diagnosis. This was just an ABC. You will have until and unless you will not have an idea of ABC, you can't go and see the pictures and diagnose the patient. No. Today you have got ABCs, and now the next time you will see the pictures and diagnose it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, in tonometry, sir. Yes, in tonometry, you are telling about the different types like Schwartz and the applanation tonometry. Sir, so my question is that, sir, which one is more accurately measures the intraocular pressure, and which type of the tonometry is used in our OPDs?
Okay, when I will show the pictures of applanation and indentation tonometry, I will tell you the principle as well as the accuracy, the level of accuracy by each tonometer. I'll show you all the tonometers. Don't worry about it. I will
Okay, sir.
discuss the pictures, and you will be clear in your mind. You will be clear with that. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Don't
Thank
worry
you.
about the pictures.
Thank you, sir.